call the East Brandywine Township Board of Supervisors PM meeting this Thursday, May 15th, 2025 to order. I want to remind everybody a recording device will be in use during this meeting. Let's open the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to remind everybody we have a public comment for agenda items and the rules of conduct of public meetings established by Resolution 2001-08. The time allocated to each individual making a comment shall be 3 minutes unless otherwise set by the presiding officer. Additional public comment may be granted at the discretion of the presiding officer at the conclusion of the meeting. Is there any public comment? Next is the minutes of the previous meetings. I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of the May 1st, 2025 meeting.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Treasurer's report. I've personally reviewed the treasurer's report.
I did as well.
Okay, so is there a motion to accept the treasurer's report, authorization to pay bills? All right, I'll make the motion then. Treasurer, I move that we accept the treasurer's report. We authorize bills to be paid and approve the payroll. Any discussion? Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Township manager's report.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. On May 7th, staff met on-site with Bondsville Mill Park, at Bondsville Mill Park with PennDOT design team and representatives of the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection to evaluate erosion along the stream bank of Beaver Creek beneath Bondsville Road. The erosion is undermining the stability of the roadway. PennDOT has proposed the construction of a retaining wall descending from near the road surface to the level of the stream. The base of the wall will include rock armoring to prevent further scour and erosion. An estimated timeline for the project is 8 months to 1 year. PennDOT will require additional right-of-way from the township and may need to approach the county because the county has a conservation easement since grant funding was used to develop Bondsville Mill Park. Importantly, the proposed work and access easement will avoid damage to two mill pond ruins. Additionally, the Blue Trail, which will be temporarily impacted, will be fully restored upon project completion. Design team will coordinate wall aesthetics with East Brandywine Township with the goal that the wall should look as natural as possible. PennDOT will be responsible for the future maintenance of the wall. So stand by for a request for right-of-way in Bondsville Mill Park for a project that PennDOT will be undertaking to shore up Bondsville Road.
I guess we can't charge PennDOT, can we?
We are conveying we're conveying an item of value. Yes, we may need to be compensated for that. I don't know what the value of that would be.
Look that up in the second class.
But practically speaking, yes, they would need to compensate us.
Based on this photograph, that's going to be a pretty big project that they're intending to retain. That's going to be a very big project.
It is a big project. They had an alternative plan, which was to relocate the stream, which has migrated through events like Hurricane Ida closer to the road, and build a natural slope from the top of the road to the stream, but opted for the retaining wall instead to protect the road bed.
That's 15 to 20 feet high at that one point, based on this photograph.
It's very substantial. I'd like to, as in my usual tradition here, touch on upcoming events hosted by the township. On May 11th, which is this That is an incorrect date. The answer is this coming Sunday. I'll just leave it at that. This coming Sunday, here in this room at 3 p.m., author Karen Marshall will present as part of the Historical Commission's speaker series. The topic is A Journey Within the Battlefields of World War II. The event is free and open to the public and part of the 3 spring and 3 fall speakers hosted by the Township's Historical Commission. On May 20th, there will be a Memorial Day flag display. Volunteers go out to the park to install 1,776 American flags at Community Park. Organizations are encouraged to join us at 6 p.m. in front of the Veterans Memorial. Scouts, teams, and clubs are all welcome to participate. Our first summer concert in the park will be June 19th and will feature a popular Motown band, Steve Cofield and Sweet. Come out and enjoy the sound of summers past and get ready to be moved and get up and dance. And with that, my report is concluded, respectfully submitted. Luke Grevin, Township Manager.
All right, the correct date would be May 18th if it's this Sunday.
Yes, thank you for that.
Okay. Building Inspector's report. Are you going to read that to the record?
I'd be happy to read that into the record.
Thank you, sir.
For the period ending April 2025, there were an issue of 54 building permits issued, 2 zoning permits issued. Total fees collected for building and zoning permits were $90,760.24. In the same period, 26 use and occupancy permits were issued and 243 inspections were completed. There were 8 failed inspections. This report is respectfully submitted. Noran King, Permit Administrator.
Roadmaster's report.
Good evening, Derek Kloss, excuse me, Public Works Foreman, speaking on behalf of Matthew Van Loo. As far as the monthly report, I have nothing to report at this time.
Okay. Police Department report.
Good evening. The police report for April 2025. We handled 2,483 incidents. There were 156 investigations completed. The department had 15 criminal arrests. We had 2 summary arrests, no warrant arrests, and 1 juvenile petition was completed. The department investigated 9 traffic accidents. There were 135 traffic citations issued, 62 traffic warnings issued, and officers logged 10,778 miles of patrol. Training completed for the month. The entire police department completed its annual firearms qualifications, and Detective Smith attended and completed a pedestrian collision and fatality investigations course. We have 1 piece of correspondence, and that is from a resident of the township who wanted to commend Officer Fox and Secretary Jackie Smedley for a very positive interaction she had with them while trying to handle a difficult family problem. Attachments you have are the monthly investigations, the officer activity reports, and that piece of correspondence. Thank you.
I noticed there's a high number of criminal arrests. Is that just the season, or do we just have more crime?
That's kind of our norm now. We've kind of had double digits every month so far this year. So we're very busy.
All right, thank you, Chief.
Mm-hmm.
The fire company report.
Good evening. So we had 37 total fire calls for the month, 22 medical calls. We had 13 fire and 13 medical in East Brandywine, 13 fire and 9 medical in West Brandywine, 3 in Upper Euclid. We had average personnel response of 11, 14 for major incident types. Fuel usage for the month, we had 259.4 gallons from East Brandywine and 30.7 from West Brandywine, totaling 290 gallons. No fire damage for the month. We had 4 trainings with total personnel attended of 102 and 210 man hours for training. The only other additional thing that I have, I know I talked about it last month, but the new rescue truck is in.
Right, so I said, I didn't see that on here. You
Yep,
wanna
yep,
talk
so,
about your new rescue truck.
just to add that in, so that is in, you guys had came down and seen that, so, we're super excited about that. It will actually be in Harrisburg this weekend, tomorrow and Saturday they have a big convention up there every year at the Farm Show Complex, so it'll be on display for a bunch of other firemen to take a look at, play with, and hop on it and get some ideas off of it. And then in the coming weeks, it's supposed to go back to Glick, where we purchased it from, and it'll start mounting in about 2 to 3 weeks, which that could take up to 2 to 3
You're
months.
talking the interior racks and all that.
Yes, yep, tool
Were you able to get it
mounting.
lettered before you send it up to Harrisburg?
It's already, it's all done, lettered up.
All right.
Yep, yep.
So as long as nobody opens the door, it looks great.
No, we're all good. They put the clear coat on and everything's dried and you can touch
No, I
it.
meant if you open the door, it's empty inside.
Oh, yeah. Other than that, yeah, yep. Other than that, but yeah, they get a good idea of what it looks like, so.
All right.
But that's all I got.
Well, thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, may I jump in on something that probably should have been in my report but relates to the fire service?
Sure.
As you may recall, in prior years, the board adopted a resolution or an ordinance allowing partial property tax rebates to those volunteers who serve in area fire companies. This is the first year of implementation of those rebates. The township has received a certified report of the volunteer hours of township residents who volunteer, and we've received reports of taxes paid from the tax collector. At your packet, at the AM meeting in June, there will be checks that represent the refund to the volunteers, which will be mailed thereafter. I know there may be some questions since this is the first year we've implementing this. We're learning as we go, but looking forward to rewarding the many volunteers who serve our community.
You do not know the amount then yet.
I do not know a total. I would need to know the period in which all taxes are paid and the percentage of rebate a volunteer is entitled to before I could give you a total cost.
All right, thanks for the update. Binkless?
Good evening, my name is Phil Childress, I'm the EMS chief. Derek is away on vacation. In April, Minquist EMS responded to a total of 483 incidents, 28 of which were in East Brandywine. Year over year, we're seeing a 25% increase in dispatched calls and responses. Also of note, we've recently sent one of our trucks out to be rechassied. They'll be back in about 90 days. In the meantime, we are renting an ambulance from Glick. So if you see a yellow ambulance running around the township, that is the borrowed unit we have until our truck comes back from Glick. Thank you.
Thank you. Old business, big exception of 2025 road project paid.
Good evening. Derek Kloss again, speaking on behalf of Matthew. On Thursday, May 7th, bids were opened for our 2025 paving project. The bid is for repairs and overlay of Governor Circle, Helm Way, Sussex Place, Heshing Court, and a portion of Blakely Road in the Tunbridge development. There were 2 bids received. The lowest responsible bidder is Innovative Construction Services Incorporated for $582,793. ICS was also the contractor for last year's paving of the Cross Keys development. The total budget for this project is $520,000, which leaves approximately about a $60,000 shortfall. I recommend making up the shortfall from the pipelining project line item. And also included is a letter of recommendation from Mr. Kyle Turner of Cedarville Engineering. And I respectfully request the board to accept the bid from Innovative Construction Services for $582,793 for the 2025 road paving project. We respectfully submitted, Matthew Van Loo, Township Roadmaster.
And if I may add, I support the roadmaster's recommendation that we exceed the budget in exchange for not spending money allocated elsewhere. The township works hard to stick to a road resurfacing schedule, and doing less miles of road one year has a pass-on effect in future years. So
Well, as you recall, the Budget Committee had already made a recommendation that an area up there from, is it Hilltop to Blakely down to the right-hand side down to the cul-de-sac was repaved when they did pipeline work there.
Correct.
So that was eliminated, so not all of Tunbridge is being repaved. That paving is about 6 or 7 years old.
Correct.
Okay, so we've already done everything we can to keep on that schedule.
Yeah, and I believe the bid came in a bit higher too. There's a substantial base repair on portions of Helmway and Sussex.
Helmway almost needs to be rebuilt there for about 150, 200 feet. Okay. I'll make a motion that we accept the bid, from Innovative Construction Services, Inc. to do the township road paving in the Tunbridge development as outlined.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Under new business, appointment of Callie Wright to the Park and Recreation Committee.
it seems like every month they've either got sad news that someone's leaving or happy news that someone's joining. This month it's just happy news. I'm pleased to report that the Parks and Recreation Committee is recommending Callie Wright to serve on the Parks and Recreation Committee. And at this time, I would respectfully ask the board appoint Ms. Wright to do so.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept or to appoint Callie Wright to the Park and Recreation Committee.
I'll second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Contract extension, World Connect Energy Provider says purchases. I believe it's a contract. How long is the contract for?
If we are currently under contract.
Right.
What is in your packet is an extension of that contract from February of 2027 through February of 2030. The background on this is Pennsylvania has a deregulated energy environment. We do not need to purchase our electricity from the default provider, which is PECO. The township uses a consultant called World Connect. World Connect is paid from the negotiated price for electricity providers, so there is no separate bill for World Connect. News in the electric world is that PECO's rates are increasing substantially on June 1st. World Connect is recommending, in light of the increase in electric costs, that we extend our contract into 2020 that would ordinarily end in 2027 through 2030. Now, this is where I have to confess the limit of my ability to understand exactly how electric markets work. I trust our consultant. I think it's if they're recommending that this is a good rate to lock in, we should do so. But I have to tell you, I don't know what electricity will cost in February of 2027. I just cannot be certain. I can tell you that because we in the past have locked in electric rates, we will be having substantial savings when everybody else is feeling a great deal of pain come June 1st. But I can't tell you that we'll be getting a bargain in February of 2027. So with that caveat, I will leave it to the board as whether or not we want to continue this contract. The rate quoted for 2027 is 9.6 0.888 cents per kilowatt hour. I can tell you that what Pico will be in June for commercial will be 9 cents. And so we'll be paying 9 cents, or people who don't have a contract will be paying 9 cents per kilowatt hour in June of 2025. So is it outlandish to expect that it would be also 9 cents in 2027? No, I think that it's reasonable. I know that's a very wishy-washy answer. I guess I should probably make a recommendation and go out there. My recommendation is that we trust our energy consultant and extend our contract.
I want to make sure I heard you correctly. So you already know the June 1st rate from PECO is going to be 9 cents.
Yes,
And this is 9.8 cents.
yes, for
Okay.
2 years in the future from that point.
Well, PECO adjusts its rates every 90 days. Their Constellation is a fixed rate.
Correct.
PECO adjusts every 90 days. Okay, I want to clarify that. If something catastrophic or dramatic happens, is there any way to remove ourselves from this contract?
Yes, you would pay a penalty, but you could get out of the contract.
And the penalty is like firstborn or something ridiculous?
I think that's the deal with Rumpelstiltskin, not with Constellation Energy. I know I'm putting our solicitor on the spot, but if you could help me look as I review.
I am looking now.
I just want to make sure we're not. The good thing is, nobody knows what the electric rates are going to be. Number one. Number two, this is at least fixed.
You know it's not going down.
Well, it has gone down recently, though. I manage a couple of large commercial buildings, and it has gone down, and we use PECO. But I trust our consultants too, that's why we have them. And the rate is a fair rate, 9.8, to be fixed over 5 years.
I'm looking at section 4 on page 6 of 8, and there is a section called remedies upon default. It appears that if we switched and went to a lower rate, we would still owe them the difference between the contract rate. So we wouldn't be paying two suppliers, we would be paying the lower supplier and paying the difference to
So we wouldn't,
Constellation Energy.
therefore, we wouldn't switch.
That would make sense, yes.
Okay.
Bottom line is you really can't terminate early.
Right.
It's too
The
big,
bottom-
it's too big of a
The bottom-
penalty.
Right, the bottom line.
Yeah.
Francis, any questions?
And if it means anything, the municipal authority approved this extension.
Correct, I was going to add that. Kyle, you have any questions?
None.
Francis?
I don't know if you heard me, but I said none.
We did hear you.
No, I understand.
It's my responsibility to make recommendations to the board. I
Right,
acknowledge
and
that
I-
I'm
and
not
I-
psychic.
And I respect that.
So it just feels really strange to be asking me as a non-economist or expert in electric supply to tell you that this is a good deal. But I tend to lean towards Supervisor Taraski's observation that prices don't generally go down. Although you did note that.
PECO's gone down the last two quarters. All right, well, I'll be the big boy and make a motion to
Thank you.
approve the contract extension with Will Connect Energy Provider.
I'll second.
Any comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, moving on. We have no subdivision, zoning, applications. We have no ordinance or resolutions for consideration. We now have public comment on non-agenda items. Is there any public comment on non-agenda items? Yes, sir.
I'll make a quick comment. I was at the mill.
I'm so sorry, Bruce. Can you speak into the
All the
mic?
way up there?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you.
And Bruce, you'll need to say your name as well.
Because of the minutes.
We don't know who he is.
Bruce who?
Bruce
Because we don't
Rollins.
know who you are. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I had the pleasure of going through the mill today, but I found out that the mill is having visitors from Loma Gardens on Saturday with a full-size luxury van bus coming in over the bridge on the east entrance. Over the rains the last couple of days, that entrance has eroded a little bit, and it would be nice if the maintenance crew could come in there and just drop a few loads of stone in there just to make it a little safer getting in and out. 'Cause I don't know how many people are coming in there, but I just noticed it today, and I saw Matt's not here, and I didn't know if Derek can take care of that, or if the board would be okay with doing that.
I don't have an issue with it, no.
Okay, that's all I had. I just looking for safety in the east entrance.
Okay, are we talking about gravel where it
Gravel,
intersects with the bridge?
2A modified, about 2 to 3 tons, left and right of the entrance.
Well, Derek, you can take a look at that, see what's needed there.
For sure.
All right. You guys good with that?
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing it to our attention.
Thank you.
Which budget does it come out of? The accountant in the room, which budget does it come out of?
Lawn Gardens budget.
Okay. Well, there's a couple assumptions. One, that we don't have that material on hand.
I was gonna say gravel isn't cheap anymore.
Right. We may have that material on hand.
We have a stockpile at the park, which we actually received for free. And I'd be happy to get rid of some. But it's not 2A modified, it's clean stone.
So it sounds like,
It should be modified because it needs to be.
You'll need to lock it together, aren't you?
Right, what budget? I'm not involved in that.
Assuming a purchase needs to be made, it would be made from the Bondsville Mill General Fund maintenance.
Okay, that's what I wanted to clarify. So it's not coming from the foundation? or-
Longwood Gardens donation.
That would be good. I'm not asking.
All right. Any other public comment on on the non-agenda items? All right, notices, there was an executive session held on May 1st to discuss personnel matters. And before we go to adjournment, there'll be a 10-minute recess while we set up for the conditional use hearing, which will start at 7:10. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a
So
motion to
moved.
adjourn.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.